Welcome everybody. Today we are going to learn about chemical bonding. The chemicals, the substances, the salts that are available in our surrounding, how they are bonded with each other. These all different types of bondings we are going to learn in this chapter. What is a chemical bond? It is the attractive force which holds various constituents together in a molecule. As we have seen that how H2 molecule is formed, that is two hydrogen atoms are attached together by an attractive force. Similarly, water molecule, the gases that are available in our atmosphere. These all things that is visible or not visible, they are attracted towards each other with a chemical bond. Hence, depending upon this, they are classified on three types, that is ionic bond. Chemical bonds are classified basically on three types, that is ionic bond, covalent bond and coordinate bond. These bonds are based on the octet rule. Now, what is octet rule? Octet rule means having 8 atoms in the central atom. Central atom should have 8 atoms. Here you can see example of carbon dioxide gas is given. Carbon is the central atom. Now carbon atomic number is 6. Therefore its electronic configuration is 2, 4, which says carbon has 4 electrons in its outermost shell. Now, as it is having 4 electrons in its outermost shell, hence it will try to share its electron to attain the octet configuration. So, after sharing electrons with the oxygen atom, now it has 8 electrons in its outermost shell. Hence, it is completely stable, which is following or satisfying the octet rule. Whereas you can check here, oxygen atom is also having 8 electrons after sharing the 2 electrons from carbon atom. Similarly, this oxygen atom is also attaining the octet configuration as it has shared its 2 electrons from the carbon atom and it is forming the C double bond O, which is having a linear shape. So this was all about octet rule, that is atoms forms chemical bond in order to complete their octet, that is 8 electrons in their valence shell. Now as you can see here we have expressed the electron in terms of dot. So this is also known as dot structure. Whose dot structure? Lewis dot structures. Now Lewis dot structure says that is the pair of bonded electron is represented by a dash. Lone pairs or non-bonded electrons are represented by dots. Electron present in the last shell of atoms, they are known as valence electron. I repeat, the electron present in the last shell of an atom is known as valence electron. For example, let us take an example of ammonia. Right, now central atom for ammonia is nitrogen. Now atomic number of nitrogen is 7. Therefore, its electron configurations becomes 2, 5. Now, as it is having 5 electrons in its outermost shell, so those 5 electrons are known as valence electrons. And here you can see that out of 5 electrons, 3 electrons of nitrogen are utilized for getting bonded with the hydrogen atom by sharing 1 electrons from each hydrogen atom, whereas still 2 electrons are not being utilized in bond formation. Hence, this is a lone pair electron. This is known as a lone pair electron. This is lone pair electron. I hope this is understood. Next, what are the exceptions of the octet rule? Here are few exception cases for the octet rule. That is, octet rule says the central atom after forming the bond must have 8 electrons. But here the central atom, here we can see few examples where the central atom has attained the stable configuration but not satisfied the octet rule. That is, for example, here you can see beryllium chloride. Right. Now, beryllium, atomic number of beryllium is 4. Now, as it is 4, the electronic configuration will be 2, 2. So, in its valence shell, it has only 2 electrons. Whereas chlorine, we know the atomic number is 17, that is 287. So, chlorine has 7 electrons in its outermost shell. Now, both of these will try to share the electrons and attain the stable configuration, right? Namely, BeCl2 as a molecule. Here, you can see beryllium is having, being a central atom, after sharing electron, still it has only 4 electrons. Hence, it is the exceptional cases for your octet rule because it is not containing 8 electrons. Similarly, your boron, you can see that after sharing each electron from chlorine atom, it is having only 6 electrons. Again, these are the examples where it has a less number of electrons, that is than the 8. Whereas you can see your PF5, SF6, H2SO4, where the central atom has more number of electrons, more than 8 electrons. For example, PF5. PF5 has totally 10 electrons. Right, phosphorus, we know phosphorus, what is the atomic number? That is, atomic number is 15. So its electronic configuration is 2, 8, 5. Right, so each phosphor atom has 1 electron in it, 5 electrons in its outermost shell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And each F atom we have again 1 electron, 7 electron in its outermost shell. So it will try to share 1 electron from phosphorus so that it can form it can attain its stable electronic configuration. So this is each 5, and here you can see that F is having totally 8 electrons, right? Because F has 7 electrons in its outermost shell. So this is about F, that is, it will have 8 electrons. But, sorry, this is for this F atom, and this will be for these F atom. But we are basically focusing on the phosphorus. So we want have 10 electrons in its outermost shell. Here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So it is having more than 8 electrons. Similarly, you can check SF6 and H2SO4 as well, where S will have 12 electrons as in central atom, and though it is stable. Now, the main important is the formal charge. So, what is a formal charge? Formal charge is the difference between the number of valence electrons in an isolated atom and number of electrons assigned to that atom's in Lewis structure. That is your formal charge. It is you can check over here, that is formal charge is equals to valence electron minus non-bonding electron pairs, that is Ni means non-bonding electron pairs minus bonding electron pairs divided by 2. Now when a molecule is stable, most of the time the elements involved in it will have the formal charge as 0. You can check here, oxygen, carbon as well as this other oxygen as well have formal charge equals to 0. Next comes resonance. So what is a resonance and where this resonance structure is being seen? So basically resonance structure is seen in a molecule in an unsaturated compound, and unsaturation is due to the presence of double bond or triple bond, and basically this is seen in case of double bond. Right, resonance structure is seen in case of double bond containing molecule, and that too alternate double bond containing molecule. That you need to be very much particular about it, whether it is alternate or not. For example, in ethene it won't be shown the your resonance structure because ethene is CH2 double bond CH2. So where resonance structure is not possible. But yes, in case of benzene, you can see here, this is your benzene ring. We have the alternate bonds. Can you see this? They are changing their place. Once it was on this side and the other. So this you can see over here, that is the structure A and structure B. And finally we get a resonance structure known as structure C. Okay, so for molecules and ions showing resonance, it is not possible to determine. Right now, all the properties of such species can only be explained by two or more Lewis structures. For example, here we have taken help of ozone. You can see how the interchange of double bond took place. Hence, structure A and B are also called as resonating structure or canonical structures. And C is the resonance hybrid over here. C is the resonance hybrid. More examples I have tried to quote over here. For example, carbonate ion. Right, carbonate ion means CO3, 2 minus. You can see carbon, this is the center one is carbon, double bond with O and single bond. Now they also have alternate bonds. So this pi bond can be shifted and we can have a resonance structure. Similarly, in the case of carboxylate ion, right, this is RCOO minus, which is your carboxylate ion, even benzene and vinyl chloride, that is CH2, double bond CH, bond CH, Cl, right, in ethene, ethene, right, if one hydrogen is replaced by chlorine, it is known as vinyl chloride. Next, ionic bonding. How ionic bond is useful to us, that is formation of ionic bond. Okay, basically when a compound will have ionic bond, for that the conditions are cation should have low ionization energy, N-ion should have high electron affinity, and after forming the compound, it should have high lattice energy. So formation of ionic bond basically takes place between a metal and a non-metal by transfer of electron. As I said, basically the ionic bond takes place between a metal and a non-metal by transfer of electron. Okay, so ionization energy, electron affinity, lattice energy, these all you have already learned in your grade 11, chapter number 3. Next comes covalent bonding. What is a covalent bonding molecule and where the covalent bond you can see in a given molecule, or how will you analyze that, okay, this molecule is formed, that means this molecule is formed by ionic bond or a covalent bond. So basically the covalent bond is formed between two non-metals. I repeat, basically the covalent bond is formed between two non-metals by sharing of electrons, and how the electrons has been shared, it has been shown over here. Now electron pairs which participating in bonding They are called as bond pairs. Electron pairs which are not participating in bonding, they are termed as lone pairs. They are termed as lone pairs. And by sharing of electron, we can obtain single covalent bond, double covalent bond, or triple covalent bond between two elements, depending on the number of electrons being shared. For example, hydrogen, you can see here we have a single covalent bond. Even in chlorine as well, you can see it is having a single covalent bond. Right. Even in methane as well, we have a single covalent bond, as well as water as well, we have single covalent bond. So where can we see the double covalent bond? Let us take an example of O2 molecule. O2, right. So to form O2, we require two oxygen atom. Now, what is the atomic number of these oxygen atom? Atomic number of oxygen atom is 8, right? Z is equals to 8 for oxygen atom. Hence, its electronic configuration is 2, 6. 2, 6 means at the in the outermost shell, it is having 6 electrons. In the outermost shell, it is having 6 electrons. Okay, now as it is having 6 electrons in the outermost shell, what will happen? It requires only 2 more electrons to attain the octet configuration. So how will it attain the octet configuration? It will try to share electrons. How many electrons? It will try to share 2 more electrons to form O2 molecule. And we know all these non-metals, mainly they attain their stable configuration in their molecular form. So here we go with the double bond, double covalent bond. Even we have seen the example of carbon dioxide molecule where again double covalent bond. Then where we will find the triple covalent bond. Triple covalent bond we will find in N2 molecule, right? That is by sharing 3 electrons each. And why it will share 3 electrons each? Because its atomic number is 7. So it is 2, 5. Outermost shell, it has only 5 electrons. So it will try to share these 3 electrons from nitrogen. Again, we can have example for triple bond, that is CH, right? CH means your ethene, where we show the triple covalent bond, where we show the example of triple covalent bond. So I hope the covalent bonding is clear to you. What is covalent bond? Covalent bond is formed between two nonmetals by sharing of electrons. Electron pairs which participates in bonding are called bond pairs. Electron pairs which do not participate in bonding are called lone pairs. There could be single, double or triple covalent bonds between two elements depending on the number of electrons being shared. So, thank you for today only this much.